or basically that's actually more specific format, and if you share this code, then I think there's value in having a standard template.
I stay here to support. Yeah, thank you. Hi everyone. So this is a talk about collecting data to improve to get a cartography of your projects and to improve the estimate of when you want to migrate them. About me, so I am Sébastien Alix, an Odoo developer for more than 10 years now, and I'm working to camp. And that seems strange, but I like migrations. Or
very strange.
At least building tools to help to handle them. This talk will be divided in two parts. The first one is about a tool I started to write 2 years ago, named OCA-port, that is here to help you to migrate your add-ons or to migrate commits or pull requests between already migrated add-ons inside OCA repositories. So I will present the new feature that happens this year in this tool and what is coming next. And the second part, so the first part is more dedicated to technical people. And the second part is a collection of Odoo modules that leverage for some features the OCA-port, the first tool. And the second one is more dedicated, is useful both for technical and functional people. So what is OCA-port? That's a tool for OCA maintainers to migrate modules and to port missing commits, missing stuff between two versions. So if you started to migrate a module from 14 to 16, for instance, but you still have the 14 version running in production for a customer, and you continue to do some fixes and some features on this version, and later on you want to port them on the next version, the 16 one, or any other version. And you can do also the reverse, backporting commits. So you can install it with pip or pipx. So the first features is about migrating modules, like you will do by following the OCA migration guide. So once you have your OCA repository clone on your workstation, in it you can run the OCA-port command with the source branch for which branch you want to start and the target branch. So you can jump the versions. It will only focus on these two branches, so 14 to 16 if you want. Then the add-on and where you want to push your development branch, the tool will create for you. So it will do as the migration guide on OCA wiki explained. So it runs the git format patch for you, the pre-commit dance, etc., and commit this first commit. Then it will simply print the next step for you, so that the manual steps you have to do, with the URL so the OCA wiki page that targets the relevant versions you want to work on. And once it's done, you just click on the URL at the end to open a draft pull request on OCA repositories. And the second main features is once a module exists on the target branch, if you run the same command, it will tell you, okay, this add-on already exists on the target branch, but I have found some pull requests or some commits that are part of pull request that you can port to the next version. You can choose to not port it, and when you say no to this, you can also choose now to blacklist the pull request, and it will do a commit to store this information in the OCA repository. So the next time, or if other contributors want to port this pull request, it will be refused because a maintainer decide to blacklist this pull request. There is the same features when it's coming to port module. You can say, okay, we have this module now in Odoo standard. I don't want to port it anymore to migrate it on OCA. So you can say, okay, no need to migrate it. I blacklist them. You give a reason that will be part of the commit message, and that's done. And at the end, you will get a draft pull request with all the list of all ported pull requests you have done. Since last year, regarding the new features, so the tool is now able to detect pull request that has been opened by other contributors. So it will invite you to review this pull request instead of creating another one to not duplicate the job. Another features that is used with the next part of this talk is we have now an output, so here JSON output only supported, but we can already do a lot of stuff with that. When you set the output parameters, you are in a non-interactive session, and it will simply give you a report of what has to be done. So if the module has to be migrated, or if some pull requests need to be ported. And with that, OCA port is now also a Python package, and we can use it by importing it. So we can script with OCA port to get the JSON output, and you can see an example here of the process used, so migrate or port commits. And if an existing pull request exists for this migration, it will just report it. We have all other features in the bucket. So Simone started to work on that. We also want to work from local branches. So if you start to work with OCA port to port some pull request, you just stop there and you want to restart your job after. You can just tell the tool, okay, I want to restart from my local development branch, and it will restart the scan from there, but it will find the commit you already ported, so it will not annoy you again with what you already did. This also allows to migrate between repositories. It happens, we move modules from one repository to another, so we want to handle that. And to set a specific destination branch. So we don't let the tool generate the destination branch or the name of the branch for us. We can explicitly give it the name and the fork, the remote where we want to push. For this second part, I will present so an Odoo instance here that is collecting all data of Odoo modules, metadata from Odoo repository itself and the 200 OCA repositories. So in this tool, you will declare the branch you want to scan, and with a flag if it is an Odoo version. We will see, because we can clone also branches that are not Odoo versions for specific project. Then you will have a list of repositories, so the Odoo one, community, and all OCA repositories. Let's go in one of them. So it is tied to an organization we created before, a URL, a Git URL, if you want to scan it or not. We configure the add-ons path, so in this repository where we will find our modules. And if you want to collect migration data, so behind this is OCA port that is used. Regarding the add-ons path, if we go on Odoo repository, we can see here two add-ons paths, because we are finding the base module in Odoo add-ons and all the functional modules in the add-ons repository. So, and we can flag them as a standard module, because after that we can filter on all our modules we collected to say, okay, this is standard plus enterprise if you want to clone the enterprise repository, or if this is a community contribution, OCA or another repo. And as a result, once the scan is done, the first time it takes time, between 1 or 2 days of work. So you will get all the modules that has been scanned with some statistic about Python, XML, JavaScript, CSS, line of code collected from these modules. So we can see for OCA, we can go back bench maybe, that will be easier to read. So currently the 14 version has 2,500 modules. So we can see how much effort, so it will progress over time. And for each module, we get some information. So what we will find is a manifest file. Authors have been imported automatically. So could have duplicates here. And for each module, it belongs to a branch. It has a technical name. So from this technical name, we can find it instead. But 20 of them has been removed. So business analysts probably want to know what to do with them. Are they important modules? Are they replaced by the editor, by renamed to another module? We don't know, but that's something we want to know before migrating a project. And for OCA repository, we can now better estimate what are the efforts we need to provide to migrate our project. Or maybe we want to wait a bit if the community will migrate modules for us. But we know that some of them are fully ported, others are completely to migrate, others are to review or commit to port to cover the gap. And then you can export this as an XML file. I have already one here. I will. Actually, this is a file we are using internally as a template for business analysts, so they can start to work on that with the customer. So for each repository, we have the name of the module, its dependencies. We have ongoing work as well to give a weight on each dependencies. Or for standard, Odoo standard is not an issue, but for OCA and specific modules, to give a priority on which layer we want to work first to satisfy the dependencies for next layers. So the business analysts will be able to better plan what to do for the next month for the migration. So the amount of code could be useful to estimate the work to do. We will find the status available, removed. And for OCA repository, for each modules, we can say, okay, we have to migrate them, we have to review this migration, there is a pull request open, and we have some commits to port with the list of pull requests to check. We would like to port to cover the gap. And I think that's all for me. If you have questions, yes?
One question. You mentioned that it takes a lot, the first load. I think you mentioned 1 day or something like that.
The first time, yeah.
Because that's because this is cloning physically in your storage all the repositories?
Yes, it is cloning everything and analyze each modules, each repositories. That's mainly the OCA port 1 that is taking time because it is also requesting GitHub API to get the information about pull requests. And if you do not have an enterprise token, for instance, to run this, you have some delay to introduce in your code if you don't want to spam GitHub API, otherwise you will get API rates limits exceed.
Okay, so you have already explored the option of doing it fully API?
No, that works because after, if you run the cron task every day, it will only restart from the last commit scan and it will analyze, okay, we have 10 new commits on this repository. Among them, it impacts 4 modules, and it will scan only these 4 modules. And there is still room for improvement because lately we have a big updates of translations, for instance, on all repositories, and that triggers 7 hours of scanning on this. But it's something we can improve to, okay, if all the commits are related to PO file, I just keep them. I don't want to rerun the scan.
Yeah,
that's wasting time.
Thank you.
Yes?
I saw when you define the modules of your customer project, you uploaded the version numbers.
Yes.
Do you have, and I didn't see the version numbers again in the file, so do you have an alert saying, okay, on that module there's a new version that has been published?
Currently not, and that makes me think I forgot to present something. So I will remove repository.
Okay.
Oh, you can just see it there. So the yellow lines show what is the installed version and what is available on OCA. So we can check what needs to be upgraded for this customer project. We have 168 modules. We could upgrade for it. As well for projects that are still in pending pull request, and we want to merge it to get it available on OCA.
That's for our customers, maybe.
Another question? Yes? The commit, the version of the module, if you have the version, no. Yes. Yeah.
So what we are seeing here is a module available in the OCA, it's an Odoo module.
This is Odoo modules.
This is,
Yeah.
is in the OCA-port repo?
No, this is not available on any repository publicly available yet. It's still in discussion, in fact, with various subject, maybe with OCA board.
Okay.
So, we'll see.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.